Are there any bills for introduction? There are no bills for introduction. The House then comes to questions for oral answer, and the first question stands in the name of Nikki Kaye.
Mr Speaker, question to the Minister of Finance. What recent reports has he received on the economy?
The Hon Steven Joyce.
Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Finance, last week Statistics New Zealand issued gross domestic product data as well as statistics on New Zealand's international investment position. Despite considerable global uncertainty, the New Zealand economy grew faster than forecast in the first 6 months of this year. An upward revision to the March quarter was balanced with a lower than expected growth in the June quarter, which reflected a patchy performance across different sectors. The statistics also confirmed we're making progress in reducing our net international liabilities, the combined amount that government, households and businesses owe to the rest of the world, although there is still some way to go.
Nikki Kaye.
Mr Speaker, supplementary question to the Minister. How did economic growth in the first half of 2011 compare with the Treasury's forecasts in the budget?
The Hon Steven Joyce.
Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Finance, gross domestic product increased 1% in the first 6 months of 2011, despite that lower than expected growth in the June quarter. This took annual growth to 1.5%. Supported by a strong agricultural sector, this is above Treasury's budget forecast of 0.5% growth for the first 6 months of this year. There was also further positive news last week, with Fonterra announcing a record payout for 2010-11 of $8.25 a kilogramme. This will inject around $10.6 billion into the economy.
Nikki Kaye.
Mr Speaker, supplementary question to the Minister. What did the latest statistics on New Zealand's international investment position show?
The Hon Steven Joyce.
Mr Speaker, on behalf of the Minister of Finance, again, they show we're making progress through the government's clear plan to reduce New Zealand's long-standing reliance on foreign debt and build faster growth around savings and exports. As at the 30th of June, New Zealand's net international liabilities stood at $140 billion, or 70% of GDP, which is the lowest level since 2004. While this is still quite high, it is certainly better than the peak of almost 86% of GDP 2 years ago. The latest figures incorporate some revisions from Statistics New Zealand to include better estimates of New Zealand assets held abroad.
Question number 2, the point of order, the Hon Trevor Mallard.
Mr Speaker, just before we get to this question, I apologise for not getting to your office sooner to give notice of it. This question was originally set down to the Prime Minister. It was transferred. It is the right of the government to transfer. But, sir, the question was about the Prime Minister's opinion on the Prime Minister's statement, sir. And my question to you is, in the redrafting, as it went to the Attorney-General, it appears to have transferred to be now the Attorney-General's opinion that is being sought, rather than the Attorney-General's opinion on the Prime Minister's opinion on the Prime Minister's statement, sir. And I think that quite changes the sense of the question.
I hear what the member is saying, that the question as it is now asked, does the Attorney-General agree with the Prime Minister's statement? And the member wanted it to be, does he agree with the Prime Minister's opinion on the Prime Minister's own statement? The dilemma with that, trying to construct a question that way, is that we obviously there's no way the Minister can answer that particular part of it. But given that the substance of this question is asking in how many of these cases does the prosecution rely on evidence from warrantless filming, etc., it would seem to me that the substance of this question, and this is why the transfer was allowed, can readily be answered by the Attorney-General, and that's why the question was allowed to be transferred.
I mean, further
to the Hon Trevor Mallard,
and of course that is, was a deliberately detailed question in order to get that. But sir, I just want to highlight to you that when questions are transferred, I think it's normally been good practice to consult with the questioner as to whether the questioner is happy not with the transfer, but the wording, the reworded question. When that occurs, and I don't think that happened on this occasion.
If that didn't happen, I certainly apologise to the member, because I well understand that normal practice. Question number